You've got a hankering for a pizza, but not just any frozen store-bought pizza. You want homemade from scratch pizza, and I'm here to help you. And we're not just gonna make any boring pepperoni pizza or sausage pizza. We're making barbecue chicken, bacon, and sausage pizza. Yeah. This is my absolute favorite pizza, so let's get it started. 1 1/3 cups of warm water. You want to try and keep it as close to 110 degrees as possible. 2 1/2 teaspoons of active dry yeast. 1 tablespoon of sugar. All right, now we're going to mix this up and we're going to let it sit for about 5 minutes. All right, you see how that's really starting to bubble up now? That's exactly what you want. That means that the yeast is activated. All right, we're looking at 2 tablespoons of olive oil and about a teaspoon of salt. And lastly, 3 cups of flour. Now, a lot of people use bread flour in their pizza. We're using all-purpose because that's mostly what everybody has. Normally, I would just mix that up in a bowl with a wooden spoon, but Lori has finally given me permission to use her KitchenAid mixer. About 3 to 5 minutes. Once again, if you don't have a stand mixer, just mix it up in a bowl with a wooden spoon, then take it out and just knead it, right? Just like this. Now we're just gonna roll it up into a ball, like this. We're gonna spray our bowl with some olive oil. Then we're gonna dump the dough in there, flip it upside down so that there's oil on both the top and the bottom. And then we're gonna cover it with either a cloth towel or a piece of plastic wrap. We're gonna let it sit for 1 hour so it'll rise and do its thing. All right, let's check our rise. Oh, look at that. That's beautiful. All right, we're gonna punch that down. All right, now we're gonna spray our pan. That's what's gonna give you the crispy crust. All right, now this recipe is for 2 pizzas, right? So we're gonna rip half of that off. Now, I know a lot of guys will lay this down on a wood cutting board using flour to do this. I think it's a lot easier with the olive oil. All right, that's about it right there. Now we're gonna cover that dough again, and we're gonna let it sit for about 10-15 minutes. All right, it's time to build this masterpiece. So this is barbecue chicken pizza. So you're not gonna use pizza sauce, you're gonna use Sweet Baby Ray's sauce, all right? Then we're gonna take a spoon, and spread that out. That looks pretty good right there. There's a lot of ingredients that are going on this pizza, so I like to bury the chicken underneath the cheese. So we're gonna put the chicken on first. And when you cut up your chicken, don't cut it up too finely, right? We don't want shredded chicken on the pizza. We want a decent bite in our mouth when we chew into it. Obviously, you can use whatever kind of cheese you want to put on it. We're gonna start with some triple cheddar, just a small amount. And then we're going heavy, well, heavier, with the mozzarella. Let's get that sausage on there. And of course, you gotta have bacon on there because bacon makes the world a better place to live. Before we go any further, before I bury all the bacon, I gotta pay my Duke tax. All right, Dookie, sit handsome. Good boy. Now, as far as the onions go, let me explain something. A lot of people say that when they see me build a pizza, it looks like I'm using a lot of onions. But here's the thing. I slice my onions rather thin, and the heat from that oven actually melts almost the onions down. So don't be afraid. If you're an onion lover like we are, Don't be afraid to pack on the onions. It's not going to look like this when it comes out of the oven, I promise. All right, now some bell peppers, if you want. I know not everybody likes bell peppers, but we do. All right, I'm going to put a little Italian seasoning on here. And some Nature's Seasons. This has got black pepper, garlic, spices, even a little bit of sugar. All right. Now we're going to pop that into an oven. It's 475 degrees. You want it hot, but keep an eye on it. Oh, take a look at that. That is beautiful. All right, so as soon as you pull it out of the oven, you want to get it out of the pan and onto a rack, not just to cool, but we want airflow underneath that crust so that the heat and the oils and the moisture in the dough don't steam the bottom of the crust. This is Green Bay, Wisconsin. We cut our pizza in squares. Sweetness from the barbecue sauce, saltiness from the sausage and the bacon. That is my absolute favorite pizza. And if it sounds like I'm bragging, it's because I am. Try it.